You're on a third date. Everything's going great. She's laughing. The conversation flows, and then she says something that doesn't quite add up. I'm fine with whatever you want to do. But her tone says she's anything but fine. Or maybe she cancels plans last minute, seemingly to see if you'll get angry. Or she mentions an ex-boyfriend out of nowhere, just watching your reaction. What's happening? Is she playing games? Testing you? Actually, yes. She's testing you, but not in the way you think. And definitely not for the reasons you've been told. Today, we're talking about why women test men, what these tests actually mean, and how to handle them without losing yourself in the process. Why testing happens. Let's start with an uncomfortable truth. Everyone tests everyone. Men test women. Women test men, friends test friends. This is how humans figure out if someone is who they claim to be. The difference, women tend to be more aware of it. This isn't manipulation, it's adaptation. Think about it evolutionarily for a moment. Throughout history, women had higher stakes in choosing the wrong partner. A bad choice could mean vulnerability, pregnancy with an unreliable partner, even danger. Modern women don't need men for survival anymore. But evolution moves slowly. Those assessment mechanisms still running in the background. When a woman tests a man, she's usually not doing it consciously or maliciously. She's doing it instinctively. She's trying to answer fundamental questions. Is this person safe? Reliable, consistent? Will they be here when things get difficult? And here's what most people get wrong. She's not trying to make you fail. Most of the time, she's hoping you'll pass. Because passing means she can relax. Passing means she can trust you. Passing means she can invest in the relationship without constantly looking over her shoulder. The tests aren't the problem. They're the vetting process. And if you're genuine, they're actually on your side. The main types of tests. Let's break down the most common tests and what they're actually measuring. The boundary test. She asks you to do something. Get her a drink. Change your plans. Meet her across town. What's really being tested? Whether you have a backbone. Here's the paradox. If you immediately comply with everything, you often fail. If you maintain reasonable boundaries, you pass. Why? Because someone with no boundaries signals low self-worth. She's not looking for a servant. She's looking for an equal. A simple, "I can't tonight, but how about tomorrow?" shows you value your time while still being interested. The emotional stability test. Plans fall through. She seems upset. Something goes wrong. Can you stay calm when things get messy? Or do you immediately get defensive, angry, or spiral? Life gets hard. Relationships hit rough patches. She's figuring out, when things go sideways, will you make it better or worse? The guy who can stay grounded during minor turbulence is the guy who'll stay grounded during major storms. The jealousy test. She mentions another guy. An ex-a co-worker who's really funny. Someone who hit on her. What's being tested? Your security. Get immediately jealous and possessive? You fail. It signals insecurity and potential controlling behavior. Act completely indifferent, like you don't care at all. You also fail. It signals you're not invested. The passing response is confident acknowledgement. Yeah, I'm not surprised people find you attractive. You're secure enough not to be threatened, but invested enough that she matters. The consistency test. This is the big one. She's watching whether your actions match your words. Do you mean what you say? Or are you just telling her what she wants to hear? You said you'd call. Do you call? You said honesty matters to you. Are you honest, even when it's uncomfortable? You said you wanted something serious. Do your actions reflect that? Women have often dated men who said all the right things, but did something completely different. So they watch, they notice. They remember. Consistency builds trust. And trust is what makes the testing stop. The vulnerability test. She shares something personal, a fear, a past hurt, a secret. Then she watches what you do with that information. Do you use it against her later? Do you tell others? Do you respect the trust she placed in you? This isn't just a test. It's a moment where relationships either deepen or die. Handle vulnerability with care, and you've shown you're safe. Weaponize it, and you've shown your character. How to handle tests. So how do you handle these tests without becoming resentful? First, don't take it personally. The test usually isn't about you. It's about her past experiences and need for security. Getting defensive just signals insecurity. Instead, try to understand where it's coming from. This doesn't mean accepting disrespect, but it does mean having empathy for why someone needs reassurance. Second, stay consistent. This is the most important one. If you have a boundary, maintain it. If something matters to you, act like it matters. Inconsistency makes people test you more, not less, because they're trying to figure out who you actually are. Consistency builds trust. Trust reduces testing. Third, don't be reactive. Most tests are checking your emotional regulation. She says, "I don't think you actually care about me." Reactive response. "What? How can you say that? I do everything for you." Regulated response. "I hear you're feeling uncared for. That's not my intention. What specifically would help?" See the difference? One is defensive. The other is calm and solution-focused. Fourth, be honest over perfect. You don't need to pass every test flawlessly. What matters is being genuine. Mess up, own it. Don't know something? Admit it. Need time to think? Say that. Authenticity builds more trust than perfection ever will. Fifth, address excessive testing. Normal early relationship vetting is fine. Constant testing months or years in, that's different. If you feel perpetually evaluated, it's worth a direct conversation. "I notice you seem to need a lot of reassurance. Can we talk about what's driving that?" Sometimes chronic testing indicates unresolved issues that need professional help. Sixth, know when to walk away. Sometimes tests aren't about security. They're about manipulation or control. If tests feel malicious, designed to hurt or humiliate you, escalating no matter what you do, that's not a healthy dynamic. You deserve someone who's testing because they want reassurance, not because they want power. What she's really looking for. Underneath all these tests, women are trying to answer a few core questions. Are you actually who you say you are? People can fake behavior in comfortable situations. Tests reveal authenticity under pressure. Can I be safe with you, physically and emotionally? Can she be vulnerable without being hurt? Express needs without being punished? Be herself without judgment? Will you stay when things get hard? Relationships are easy when life is good. Will you bail at the first difficulty? Or are you the kind who stays? Do you respect yourself? Here's the paradox. Women are attracted to men who have boundaries, who won't just do whatever she asks, who have their own lives. Why? Because someone with no boundaries anywhere suggests they'll be easily manipulated, that they prioritize peace over principle, that they don't value themselves. Are you emotionally mature? Can you handle conflict without aggression or shutdown? Take responsibility for mistakes? Communicate about hard topics? These things are hard to fake under pressure. That's why tests exist. Here's the interesting part. The men who complain most about testing often have the most to hide. The genuinely reliable guy doesn't mind demonstrating reliability. The actually stable guy isn't threatened by a little chaos. Tests only feel unfair if you're afraid of what they'll reveal. So yes, women test men. In small ways, through questions and silences, through boundaries pushed and vulnerabilities shared. But these tests aren't the enemy. They're how people figure out compatibility, safety, whether they want the same things. And men test women too. We just don't call it that. The healthiest relationships are where both people can be honest about needs, where testing decreases as trust increases, and where both understand that building something real requires vetting. The right person won't test you forever. They'll test you until they trust you, and then they'll choose you.